Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to do a T4 Infinity Watch kind of first look video. I'm still kind of finalizing that list, and obviously I haven't gotten the info to Punk to actually make it a nice sexy graphic. But a lot of people are investing in this team. They're asking questions about this team, you know, and they're like, what T4s, where, you know, etc. I'm like, you know what, let me put something out there, because I did this on stream the other day just to kind of gather my thoughts, start working the process from, you know, inception all the way to the final infographic. So I figured, you know what, I'll do a kind of a midstream video on this one as far as where I'm at with the information infographic, and just put it out there. Hopefully it helps some folks. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord link in the description below. Follow along for any sort of content. You know, we just put out, or gonna put out, a Loki video for, you know, episode 1. We're doing Marvel Future Revolution, obviously Strike Force, and you know what, we're gonna do a giveaway once we get to 10,000 subscribers. So you follow along easily, subscribe. If you want to enroll into that giveaway, go ahead and just comment below. Say anything, you know, reasonably nice, I'd say. You know, obviously we might discard anyone who's just super rude. Insert Olsen twin joke. Or no, Stephanie. Anyway, Full House jokes. Been a while. So anyway, if you want to enroll, go ahead and check it out. All right, so now let's get to those T4s.
Me, WolverThor.
All right, so I got MSF.gg. You guys have probably seen some of the, you know how to come in here and you can kind of check how these kind of go up and down. I normally, I go through and do this process where I look at it, I take the description, figure out the math behind it, and just simply, you know, go on to a spreadsheet I've got and put them, you know, the upgrades are. So I'm not going to actually go through here and necessarily like read from here because I do have it in another document. But I did want to say and give a shout out to these guys. Ty and Pip Toxie are always doing a really good job at all the stuff they do, MSF.gg related, Discord related. So I always want to shout those guys out whenever I can, because it's a lot of work to put into this thing, and it's a very, very useful tool. So if you haven't seen it or heard of it, you know, make sure to go check this out. This is how I go use the things. I love it. There's also a bot on Discord that helps me as well. So, all right. So next up, we'll get into the stats in a second, if need be, actually. So what I got here is what, I'll zoom out so you can see it. Is I have of course, gigantic spreadsheet. All right, this thing, I mean, if you're really like, it is huge. This is how I started doing T4 calcs and rankings a long time ago. So it was one of the first things that I had ever done early on in the game. And I actually originally just ranked them by character, just saying this is the best T4 you could do in the game compared to this one, because at the time it wasn't necessarily about teams, it was more about a character. And I'll never forget, it was like Korath Ultimate was one of the top ones, and then America Chavez, like her special, just because the upgrade for it. Anyway, a whole bunch of different things. So anyway, now I've got them broken down into teams. So I go through here and I just, you know, I write the text, I have what the upgrade is, I do this. This was what my original ranking was. This is not any way indicative of what's going to be essential or not, but I want to talk about some that I definitely think are like interesting, and kind of scroll through these and just talk with them, you guys, a little bit. Sometimes what plays into this is I've got damage ranks over here. Whenever you guys see, you know, in the infographic, damage rank, this is where it comes from. You know, I take all this damage information and then I actually load it into a ranking. So that helps me get there. You know, again, you got to factor in, you know, there's so many variables with adjacents and alls, and sometimes that gets complicated. We just keep it simple. So when you get an all and it's ranked 10th, it's like, well, it's hitting everybody though, and that's huge. So that's better than maybe a 5th ranked primary target damage. So anyway, so just starting from the top of the list here, we'll zoom in a bit so you can kind of see this a bit better. Phyla-vell's basic. Really all you're getting here is 60% damage, you know, offense down. It's already, or you get an additional turn out of it, which is, you know, okay, that's fine. You get some additional damage. That's all right. You know, the question is how often you're going to do it. You can see your special here is first turn. Ultimate second turn, so you really want to look at those first. We'll check that out, and as always, we should really, I mean, truthfully, I should look at the passive, and I like to do that. So you decide within a character here, what do I want to do? Phyla-vell's passive, you know, there's nothing in this upper section, but you get 25% drain when a character has death proof. And normally, I don't love those RNG type situations where it's like, oh, you need this to get this thing. So it's like, I do the T4, and what if I never get death proof? Now, this team has some, you know, abilities to get death proof, which we'll get into in a bit. But so that's nice. You get an additional 10% damage for only Infinity Watch allies. She already gets the 30% damage, so the 10% damage is for Infinity Watch allies. And so really, this is only about that additional 10% damage for your allies and the 25% drain while they have death proof. So, you know, normally I wouldn't love something like that, but the 10% damage for all your allies, I really like. The fact that if you're having death proof, which I can scroll, let's see, where's the Adam Warlock? Let's see, when do we get the death proof? So I gotta remember, is it Warlock or is it when this character has death proof, apply safeguard? All right, it's not that. It is when you're in death, is the Moon Dragons? This is the problem with these new teams sometimes, that I forget exactly how everybody gets, you know, all of their abilities. I swear there's a death proof on here. I'm going to remember it later. Somebody's yelling right now. It's right here. On revive, gain death proof. So there's revives that you get death proofs. You can see it on Nebula. You see it on Gamora, where it's you get a death proof when she revives, right? Here it is. Okay, so I knew I was like crazy. Gamora is special. So when she clears death proofs from enemies, if anybody, and this is empowered Gamora, if any enemy has a death proof, then you apply a +1 to your Infinity Watch allies. So that's where that comes into factor at least once, right? And then you've got some revives, some other dynamics kind of adding that to this passive. And again, revive, you want drain, right? You want the drain to be increased so you can get that HP up higher. So I think this is a decent T4. Is it totally required? You know, like I said, it's good. You know, I could see myself being between solid and really great here. Some people like, you know, the 10% damage in mirror matches, that's going to probably make a difference where you're going to end up wanting it. So then let's go to her special. When I look at this, let's see, it's really just 50% damage for primary and adjacent targets. You get an additional piercing, which again, I don't have a formula to figure that out. So the ranking on that is 33rd in the game. So that's actually a pretty decent rank. I like that. So that by itself, first turn ability, you're hitting primary and adjacent targets. That's pretty solid. You know, I've got a good on that one. We'll see where it ranks up on the infographic. After that's the ultimate. So you get an additional primary target only, but an additional 150% damage against the target. But what I really like about this is that you're applying defense up for an additional turn and offense up for additional turn to all Infinity Watch allies. So not only do you have a giant massive damage increase, which is what ranked first in the game. That is your best bang for your buck in the game right there. You're also getting an additional turn of defense up and offense up. So when this is happening on that second turn, I could very well see people who not have this losing a match because maybe their defense up falls off or maybe they're not hitting as hard. So I could probably see this because of the damage and that additional turn being essential. You know, second turn ability, which pretty confident you're going to get to. And then the one we originally started with is attacking the primary target for 60% damage. You get an additional turn of offense down. I'm like, all right, the damage rank there's 23rd, which is actually pretty good. And she'll be using this for a bit after she gets through her special and her ultimate. I like it. You know, it's not bad. Am I going to do it? Nah, probably not. If you get high reds on her, that's typically what I say with all those is, yeah, you want to go that route. Moon Dragon's passive. We're going to jump to her now. Let's see. Her increase here is really it's about the focus and resistance. And honestly, you'll notice I just have this as okay. The reason being is a lot of the focus abilities that you want to make sure you land already have focus increase. You can see Moon Dragon's special. It's got 1,000% focus. You know what I mean? So unless you have a really, really small, you know, Moon Dragon and you're trying to punch up huge, I'm not sure you really need these increases. So I only have that ranked as okay. I'm not necessarily looking to do that. Her first turn ability is that special, which I mentioned. You're getting an additional 40% damage out of it. And the big part here that people are going to love, and a lot of people will probably yell at me or freak out about or disagree with me, is the 20% speed bar, where I've only got this again ranked as kind of an okay. You know, the damage rank here on the special, which I get his first turn, is 167. That's not very good. And so it really becomes about the speed bar reduction by 20%. So, you know, look, you're already slowing whoever you're hitting for 2 turns. So if this person is, unless they're right about to take their turn, then yeah, that extra 20% on the speed bar reduction will be a big, I'd say a big impact. But if it's anywhere like 50% or lower, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I really need it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. This might be just more winning. So that's where I'm landing at the moment. But I could see a lot of people saying, oh, this is super critical. It takes somebody out of the match. Well, yeah, but how much more does it take somebody out of the match than the ability would do without the T4? Next up is actually her basic, because that ultimate is not until turn 3. Right, yeah, so it's not a second turn ability. So going to her basic, it's an additional 40% damage, and if she attacks a primary target. If she doesn't, because of this charge ability, and there's more than one non-summoned enemy, then you're giving an additional 20% damage to whoever you control. Now, it's a random selection, so I don't love that. You know what I mean? So even if it was ranked high damage-wise, which it's not, it's 166, I'm kind of selling, I know she's going to use this a bit, but I don't love it. The blue ranking is basically, it's ranked 4th of my top, from 1 to, I think, 7 or whatever it is I ranked to back in the day. It's kind of like, I'm not a big fan of that one. So then her ultimate. Now, I will say, so, okay, forget turn order for a second. Heal 15%, heal allies for 15% of this character's max health. I like that a lot. And attack all enemies for 60% damage. I like that it's all enemies, 60% damage. It's ranked 44th. But again, remember that this is attacking all enemies. I really, really do like this with the HP. What people are currently saying is, well, I never get to this. Remember, you're not necessarily going into pure mirror matches all of the time at the moment, especially once Adam Warlock comes in and it's all over arena. I could very much see this being very critical. Not just that, but I also like Moondragon in other game modes. Let's come back here. Her traits, Cosmic and Skill. So when you're talking about 1, skill in the Doom Raid, 2, you're talking about Cosmic in Dark Dimension, and the fact that you don't have a lot of skill tunes you want to bring into Dark Dimension, she's got 2 abilities that are healing all allies for 30%. I don't know how you don't bring her to Dark Dimension. So, when we're really thinking about all these different game modes, I really, really like this. I like this a lot. And I don't want to pigeonhole myself or my thoughts into what's going on in the game right this moment. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about those. That's kind of where I fall on that. If I was going to, clearly I have her ultimate as highest, even though I get... Right now, most people might not do it, but I could see that most people kind of shifting their thoughts there later. So ignore this thing here. Ignore that column. Just, that's not necessarily indicative of what I'm talking about here. So next up, Adam Warlock. His passive is kind of interesting. So it's kind of like, what does it actually add? Well, it adds it when he drops below 20% health, gain 2 deflect. Before, that wasn't there. I was like, okay, so I get 2 deflect on him when he drops below 20% health. I'm like, all right, so that's fine. If this character has, more for Infinity Watch, it also gives 10% max health, an additional max health for self and Infinity Watch allies. And that's it. It's like the max HP and the 2 deflect. I think that, I want to double check because I'm sitting here going, is that really right? Like, that can't be right. So when I go here and I look at this, you really want to look what changes, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm looking this up section, 60%, that doesn't change. All of these abilities didn't change. You just see this 2 deflect pop up, right? Or disappear. So see how it pops up? Okay, great. And then it's like something's changed at the bottom here. What's changed at the bottom? All right, it goes from 20% max health to 30% max health for himself and Infinity Watch allies. You already get the 30% armor. So that's right. So you really just get the 10% max HP and the 2 deflects. you know, because he doesn't necessarily have, you know, a whole lot going on here, I'm like, do I really need the dude to flex? You know, if health is full to start, once you revive once for 60% of the character's max health, and you gain death proof, regen, and defense up, kind of like, all right, I guess the deflects are nice. When this character drops below 20%, he's always going to get those deflects, which helps him stay alive, maybe. So if you're finding that once he gets to 20% or lower, and these deflects are critical to keep him alive, for potential heals from maybe Moondragon or something, then I could definitely see this actually going way up. But right now, I currently have it a little low. And I am big on deflects, and I do like HP, but, you know, my first impressions of that was not necessarily huge. So then when you're looking at his abilities, you've got the first ability here is Adam Warlock's this special 5 out of 5 cooldown on. So you're using that first turn. You get 120% damage to primary target, and you're getting a second turn for the disrupt. So you're looking at the 150% or 120% damage. What's that ranked? 8th. So I liked that a lot because it was a huge damage increase. I know it's a primary target, but apply disrupted to enemy protectors for an additional turn as well. You know, maybe I shouldn't necessarily rank it as great, but the damage alone was so good, I ranked it there. I don't think I'll necessarily do an essential on it. It's probably going to be like an orange category right after that, but the damage increase alone, I just really liked. So the ultimate is next up. That is an additional 70% damage to primary target. Then on the chain, you get an additional 70% damage as well. And when you're looking at that, the rank on there is 32. That's also really good. There's some chain that's going on there. You know, if I get high reds on Adam, I would definitely see myself putting stuff in here. And honestly, even on that passive to make sure that he wins or stays alive, that could be a difference. And then last but not least is this basic. You get an additional 60% damage, and you apply 2 bleeds for an additional turn. That damage rank is what, 45. So that's okay. You know, his cooldowns again are a little bit longer, so this might come into play. But if you're really talking about arena matches, you know, unless they get really drawn out and you find that this T4 is going to win you a match versus someone who, you know, or if you don't have it and someone does and you need it, then okay, fine. So I've got the Gamora, the regular Gamora stuff in here. I'm not going to go over that. We're just going to stay on empowered Gamora. So her passive gains, let's see, where is the increases here? So you get 5% piercing for each Infinity Watch ally, so it goes up to 15%. She gained 5% crit chance. She gets an additional 5% crit chance. Nothing changes from the guard or from anybody else on the team. So it's 5% piercing and 5% crit chance. Honestly, I think this kind of sucks. Like, I don't think it's good. I could probably rank it as crap. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't really like this. You know what I mean? Like, you're already getting these other items, so I was like, nah. First ability you're going to use is her special. The increase here is an attack all enemies for 80%, an additional 80% damage, and you get an additional turn of heal block. So you got to check the damage rank there. It's ranked 24th, which is really good. It's a first turn ability. I like this one mainly for the damage. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't, the heal block's not moving the dial for me. So but it's solid. I think you could probably do that and be happy with it. Next up is her ultimate. You're getting an additional 100% damage here for that. So it's like, all right, what's that? That's ranked 18th in the game. Now, you got to remember as well that she's going to have offense up during this. So that 18th or the damage increase there is actually amplified, and that is not factored in that ranking. So it really is like a top ranked damage increase in the game, given the fact that you're guaranteed to have offense up during it. So for that reason, I've ranked it great. I think, again, you could do this and not be upset at all. Gamora's basic is additional 40% damage to the primary target, and then the additional bonus attacks also get that 40%, and that's ranked 169. I don't know. I mean, obviously that basic is going to hit hard because it's going to have offense up. So again, you know, that damage increase is going to be, again, amplified. So maybe you do it because of that reason alone, and I wouldn't be upset about that. We'll see where that lands. I could see that end up being yellow or orange once I finalize everything. Nebula's kit here. So yeah, I got everyone. Adam Warlock. Yeah, I think I got everybody there. Nebula's passive. This one's very interesting. So, you know, this was a struggle a bit. You gain a 10% assist chance and an additional 10% assist for every Infinity Watch ally, which is great. You want that to happen because you want to put her as a skirmisher, and you want almost all of your Infinity Watch allies to be strikers, depending what you decide with Moondragon and whether you go healer on her or not. But that's it, right? Now, we've already confirmed that if you go back to msf.gg, which goes to the JSON files, if you're looking at what happens with actually that's an assist count. Yeah, so the assists, you're always wanting to factor in this 3% of targets max health, right? So if you're looking at this basic, which we'll get to in a second, that 3% doesn't change. So do not upgrade this because you think that you're going to get a higher eventually damage on that if you upgrade her basic. It's not. You're doing this assist chance because you want to put you want to make sure that Nebula is a skirmisher, and you want to make sure she puts that vulnerable down, and that your other characters are strikers, and you get that triple tap. If you don't do that, it's not as big of a deal. You're just getting an assist from Nebula. All right, so her first ability is going to be her ultimate. What you get here is an 80% damage increase to the primary target, and then this 40% chance, increased chance to change to 2 targets, it will never come up because you're going to be looking at this other part where you always have 3 or more Infinity Watch allies, which basically change to everybody. So it's really about the damage, and if you want to chain to everybody on the board, which is more of like a multiple man, kill all of them. So you look at the damage rank, it's 28th. First turn ability, it's short cooldowns. I like that a lot. I'm probably definitely going to do this. Not just, I mean, the damage alone and short cooldown, I think I want that. I like it. I would recommend doing that on your Nebula. Next turn, you're going to do her special. It's 4 out of 4. Again, a bigger damage increase, 70%. There's nothing more to that. So again, similar ranked. It's 35, a little bit lower, but it's still good, you know. And again, it's second turn. You're only attacking the primary target, but it is a solid, good, nice ability. So after that, you've got the basic, which I already mentioned. You do not want to use that for the purpose of, where you're going to actually get counters. You know, if you do that, it's going to be a problem for you because you're not going to get or assists because you're not going to get, you don't want to upgrade that basic and get count on it for the assist. So you're really just upgrading this basic for the damage and when you're using the basic. All right. Now we do know that at some point, Scopely's kind of mentioned that they know that the assists do maybe change the damage, but it's like not clear and it's not precise. I don't know. You really got to ask. Hopefully we can get Scopely to tell us something. I don't know the answer. I don't. But right now, it's not shown on msf.gg, so I'm not messing with it. I've got this kind of as just a meh. What is the rank? 184. So anyway, I don't know. Hopefully that kind of helps you figure some things out. So I'm looking at Nebula's passive. I like it. Nebula's ultimate. I'm looking at Gamora. I'm looking probably at her ultimate or probably her basic. Adam Warlock, once I get him, probably is special, probably is passive. Moondragon, I still like her ultimate, even though I know a lot of people don't. I get it. I don't know. I'm still rolling with that, I think. Probably not doing much more on that one. Maybe her special. I do like that speed bar if I've got the T4s. And if this team's going to last in arena, you definitely want to kind of do something like that. Let's see. phyla-vell or passive. I like the drain, the damage, okay. But really, I like that ultimate more than anything else. You get some damage out of that special. So, that's what I've got as far as where we're going to put these. Hopefully, this helps you decide where you want to invest for the time being. Like I said, I'll still do the infographic with Punk, but I wanted to put some out there for now. As I already mentioned, Discord link in the description below. Hammer down the like button, notification bell, and subscription button so we get to that 10K mark and do that giveaway. Comment. You'll be enrolled. All right. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.